Doing a video response to Pop's Quest today. Finally, after about 3.5 weeks of delays. Number one, due to being long-winded and rambling on for 12 or 13 minutes, I kept redoing it over and over. And then I got sick. Started as a sinus infection, morphed into pneumonia. If you've never had pneumonia, I don't suggest you get it. Steer clear of anyone who has it. And it sucks. It's rough. It's terrible. Fever anywhere from 1015 to 1027. Constant headache and chest pain and coughing and just feeling puny. Just awful. I think probably the worst part was I didn't lose my appetite, but I was so fatigued and tired just trying to eat that I didn't eat. And that's where my weight loss had come in. So it's just a really crappy thing to go through. So stay away from pneumonia if you can help it. So that was my reason for, the 3-week delay here. But I'm doing it today. I'm 95% back to normal and I'm feeling good. If you see an edit in this recording, it's because I have to stop for a minute. I might have a coughing fit, take a drink of water. So that's why you might see an edit. I might be able to get through the whole thing without it. So Pop's Quest, if you're unfamiliar with this channel, Pops is a business owner. He's a competitive shooter. He's an honest man. He works for a living, and I like his thought process. He's logical and practical, and he works through things by thinking and by openly throwing situations like this out, like VRs, and getting feedback. And it's the same way I operate, and so I appreciate that. So check him out. Pops is a good dude. Link in the description down below to his channel. He asked a good question, a really good question, and it was regarding your carry gun philosophy. And I'm going to answer it in 2 parts. Number 1 is going to be how many rounds you put through a carry gun before you trust it. Number 2 is, can you wear a carry gun out by taking it to the range? So let's answer that one first. Can you wear a carry gun out by taking it to the range? I would say for the huge part of the civilian population who rarely ever go to the range, heck no. They're not even going to wear items out. Magazines and springs are going to probably work forever in those guns. So I don't think people that rarely shoot are ever going to. Now you get into people like myself, and I'll shoot anywhere from 200 to 1,000 rounds in a month. It depends on the weather, the gun, situations. I think you need to maintain your guns if you shoot that much. Obviously, no stupid torture tests. Don't kick them around the sand or dirt. Don't bury them in mud. That stuff's idiotic anyway for civilian handguns. Lubricate your guns and work them. Don't stick them in a safe somewhere unlubed and never ever run the slide, run the action, press the trigger, and make sure that they're clean and working properly. All of that will help maintain your guns for a long, long time. Obviously, there are wear items, springs, magazines, etc. And yes, magazines are wear items. A lot of people don't know that. They think that they should last as long as a gun, but they don't. And so magazines are wear items as well. So something you have to look for there. Competitive shooters, whole different ball game. Some of these guys shoot 10,000 rounds a month. You're going to wear guns out probably, and that might even include the slide and the barrel. You might just wear these things out. Now, one gun that might be a challenge to wear out is going to be an HK USP, and I've owned a few of them. They are overbuilt tanks. My favorite handguns, personally. I love HKs anyway, but the HK USP series, I wish they would build something like that in a striker-fired gun. I just absolutely love those pistols. Remington used an HK USP for a long time to test rounds, and they had 285,000 rounds through one before sending it back to HK. Now HK went through, changed all the springs out, but they sent it back to Remington. The barrel was fine, breech face, the slide, it wasn't worn out. So that kind of gun, I don't think anyone, competitive shooter or not, will ever wear anything like that out. So that is obviously an exception, but what a tank it is. So to answer the second question, excuse me, how many rounds would you put through a carry gun before you trust it? I would say 500. I would say 500 because that's what the internet tells me I should, right? if you're the guy who believes 500 rounds is the number, don't get butthurt. Don't downvote me just because of that. At least wait till you've heard everything and then downvote if you want. But 500 seems to be this regurgitated dogma online to just say, I put 500 through, I put 500 through. What if a gun you bought, every single malfunction you've ever found on it? And in the day and age of the internet, guys, there's no excuse to be ignorant. We have too much information readily available. We can gather data and make good decisions on it. So what if every single malfunction you ever saw in this gun happened in the first 100 rounds? Why would you waste 400 rounds before carrying a reliable gun? If it ran great through the first, say, 200, you've already gone past that threshold of every bit of information you can find that says it's a reliable handgun. Now, what if it's on the flip side? What if you buy a gun and you've read of a couple situations where guys had failures at 900 rounds, 1,000? You've also seen them fail in the first 2 magazines. Are you still going to put 500 through it and call it good? Are you going to avoid that gun altogether? Are you going to use it for a range gun? I think those are things that you have to really, really consider there. So, in my opinion, how many rounds you put through it is going to depend on a lot of factors. It's going to depend on the ammo you're shooting. It's going to depend on how well you maintain and clean your guns, lubricate them, the size of the gun. Excuse me, guys, and that absolutely matters. There's a gun that I used to own, very popular right now. I've expressed this before. I think after owning it and seeing the problems, I think it's too small for a polymer design that it is for that caliber. And I think it will continuously have problems. I may be wrong. If I am, I'll say I'm wrong. If I'm not, you heard it from me, all right? So the size of the gun, the brand, how well built it is. Is it a budget gun? I look at budget guns myself as something like a Smith & Wesson Shield. It's a great budget gun. Great budget gun. It's well built, all right? Vet it out and make sure it's going to work. Grab all the information out there on the internet and figure out how many rounds you think I should put through this before I call it good. Feel your way through the first 2, 3, 4, 5 magazines. Feel how it's running. Is the slide reciprocating? Is it locking back on every single empty magazine? Do the mags drop freely? When you open it up, is there excess wear? Is it taking a beating? Is it making any weird sounds or feel? Feel your way through. That means a lot when you first grab a pistol and you start to kind of vet it out and see if it's worth carrying. So to answer that question, I would say you're going to have to figure it out on your own. 500 rounds or 300 or 1,000 may not apply to every single gun out there and every single shooter. And I'm going to close with this, which I found to be the most ludicrous, irresponsible statement ever. There is a very well-known trainer out there who's way more qualified than I am from a tactical, military, and Leo standpoint. So don't get me wrong. But from a practical standpoint, what he said was silly. He believes you should put 500 rounds of carry ammo through your gun before you put it in a holster. So let's say I've got somebody on a budget and they can afford a $350 gun. You set them up with, say, a Shield, something like that. They've got a little bit of money left for ammo, okay? They're on a tight budget. And they see something like this. They read this or they look at it on YouTube and they go, 500 carry rounds? Well, doing the math, HST, critical duty, golden saber, etc. I'm going to spend almost as much as I did on the gun? Really? And I think that could confuse people, turn them off, and make them feel like, heck with this. This is just too expensive. I would say if you're inexperienced and new, find someone that you trust. Get some good data from trusted people online and vet them out as well. And take those as data points, put it all in a bucket, mix it up, and go through your data and figure out what you need to do to make sure that your handgun is reliable before you put it in a holster. All right, so there's my VR. Check out Pop's Quest. Again, link is in the description down below. Click it. It'll take you right to his YouTube channel. If you like this video, cool. Please like it, subscribe, all of that stuff. The little bell at the bottom, if you click that, it'll let you know when I upload new content. So I appreciate you guys very much for watching. Go check out Pop's Quest. And Pops, thanks for the opportunity. Definitely a good a good subject that we need to be discussing in the handgun community. I think it could help a lot of people. Thanks for watching, everybody.